Loyalty Ain't Always Love by Archie Golden. Prologue. They never taught us the difference between loyalty and love. In the hood, the two walk hand in hand until one of them lets go first. I was loyal. I held it down when the nights got cold, when the bullets flew, when his name rang out louder than mine ever would. I stayed when it hurt. I stayed when it cost me. Because I thought that's what love looked like, enduring, no matter what. But loyalty is a two-way street. And love don't lie, cheat, or leave you bleeding while it walks away clean. I learned the hard way that loyalty can be a leash. And sometimes the person you die for is the same one loading the gun behind your back. This ain't no fairy tale. This is survival. This is heartbreak served cold. This is loyalty ain't always love, and I'm done playing the fool. Now, I'm writing my own ending. And trust, it ain't got nothing to do with love. Chapter 1. Concrete Roses. The block never sleeps. Sirens howling like lullabies, babies crying through paper-thin walls. Dope boys posted up like statues, frozen in survival. And me? I bloomed in the middle of all that chaos, a concrete rose with dirt on her petals and fire in her roots. Mama worked doubles and prayed in whispers. Daddy was a rumor, one of those names folks only said when they were drunk or mad. So I learned young. If I wanted safety, I'd have to build it. If I wanted love, I'd have to survive long enough to feel it. Then came Messiah, pulling up in a black Charger that sounded like thunder and looked like sin. Every girl on the block wanted to be seen by him. I was the one who made him stop. "Yo," he said, leaning out the window, gold chain catching the streetlight. "You always look like you carrying secrets." I didn't blink. "I am. Ain't that what survival is?" He smiled, a slow, dangerous curve like a man who knew too much. "Get in," he said. I didn't know it then, but that moment, that was the first step toward everything. Love, loyalty, betrayal, even revenge. Because when a girl like me gets in a car with a man like him, she ain't just going for a ride. She's stepping into a war. Chapter 2. His Hustle, Her Heart. Riding with Messiah felt like floating through danger with the devil's hand on your thigh. Fast lanes, loud engines, tinted windows. His world was made of shadows and power, and I was falling straight to it. He didn't talk much at first, just rode with the one hand on the wheel, the other always somewhere near the steel tucked under his seat. But silence don't scare girls like me. We've been raised by it. "You trust easy?" he asked one night, his eyes still on the road. "Nah," I said, staring out the window. "I just move quiet." He chuckled, low and dark. That's how real ones move. I didn't realize it then, but every moment with him was a test. He watched the way I responded to pressure, how I handled chaos. He wasn't just picking a girl. He was choosing a soldier. And I passed every test. The first time he kissed me, it wasn't soft. It was claiming, a warning and a promise all in one. I don't do halfway. You with me or you not. I was with him, and that's where everything started unraveling. Because once you tie your heart to a hustler, you better be ready to bleed. He had secrets, I had scars, and in between all that heat, we built something that looked like love but smelled like smoke. Because his hustle came first, and my heart, it was collateral. Chapter 3. Secrets in the Smoke. The first time I caught him lying, it was over something small, a late night that was supposed to be just business. But the cologne on his shirt wasn't mine, and the lipstick stain on his collar had a name I didn't know, but would never forget. Messiah didn't flinch when I asked. "You questioning me now?" he said, lighting a blunt like the truth was just something to burn. "You think I'd lie to you?" That's the thing about liars. They don't look like villains. They look like the person you love, standing in front of you with calm eyes and dangerous hands. "I ain't stupid," I told him, crossing my arms. He exhaled smoke slow, like he had all the time in the world. "Nah, you smart. That's why I fuck with you. But smart don't mean emotional." Emotional. That's what they always call women who pay attention, who feel, who know. I didn't press that night. Didn't argue, didn't cry. I just made a note in the back of my mind. Messiah can lie with a straight face. And if he could lie once, he could lie again. So I started watching, listening, late-night calls that got cut off too quick, names that popped up and disappeared, gaps in his stories, small at first, then wide enough to fall through. I loved that man, but even love got a limit, and mine was getting tested, because every puff of smoke he blew, every smooth excuse he whispered, it wasn't just covering his lies. It was choking the girl who thought loyalty meant losing yourself just to keep someone else whole. Chapter 4. Blood Oaths and Broken Trust. Loyalty ain't just about standing beside someone when it's easy. It's about staying down when the whole world's turning on them. At least, that's what I believed, until I realized I was the only one still standing. Messiah caught a case. Word on the block was he got set up by someone in his own circle. But instead of coming to me, he shut down, like loyalty meant locking me out instead of letting me in. "You don't need to know everything," he told me one night, pacing with a pistol in his hand and paranoia in his eyes. But I already knew more than he thought. I knew about the stash spot on 113th. I knew about Zay, his cousin, who was really just a middleman with a loud mouth and shaky loyalty. And I knew the streets were watching Messiah like vultures circling a wounded lion. "What you hiding?" I asked, leaning against the kitchen counter, arms folded. He looked at me like I was just another weight on his back. "I'm trying to protect you." "From the truth or from you?" That silence he gave me, louder than 1,000 screams. That night, he left. Didn't say where he was going, didn't call, didn't text, just vanished. And I sat on that couch, staring at the door like it owed me an explanation. My loyalty had me twisted, waiting on a man who only showed up when it benefited him. But the truth hit me harder than his absence. I had been loyal to a version of him that didn't even exist anymore. He changed, or maybe I just finally saw the real him. And once the trust broke, it didn't matter how deep the love ran. Because love built on lies is just a pretty prison. And I was done serving time. Chapter 5. Real ones don't fold. Pain changes people. It don't just scar you, it sharpens you. And after Messiah disappeared, I didn't crumble, I recalculated. For days, I walked around like a ghost, numb, quiet. Not because I was weak, but because I was watching, plotting, evolving. See, real ones don't fold under pressure. We shift, we learn, we rise. I stopped answering calls from people who only knew me as Messiah's girl. I started making my own moves, quiet, strategic, calculated. First thing I did, cut ties with the noise. Second, linked up with Mona. Mona ran her own lane, part stylist, part plug, part assassin with lip gloss and a 38 in her purse. She didn't ask questions. She handed me opportunity. "You tired of being in his shadow?" she asked one night while counting cash and lighting sage. "Then stop moving like you belong there." Her words hit harder than Messiah ever did. So I started stacking. Money, info, power. I learned who was loyal out of love and who was loyal out of fear. And I learned how to move like a boss, not a backup. By the time Messiah came back around, the girl he left behind, she was gone. All that heartbreak turned to hustle. Every silent cry became strategy. Every scar, a part of my armor. Because the streets don't care about how soft your heart is. They only respect power. And I was becoming the kind of woman they'd never overlook again. Chapter 6. The Setup. The streets got rules, but most of them ain't written. You learn them through blood, betrayal, and bodies. And when Messiah came back acting like nothing changed, I knew something was off. He was too calm, too clean, too polished for a man who just beat a case with whispers still circling like smoke. "Who vouched for you?" I asked one night, sliding a plate across the table. He smirked like I told a joke. "You don't trust me now?" Trust? That died 3 lies ago. I didn't argue, didn't raise my voice, because when you know you're being set up, the last thing you do is show your hand. Instead, I played the role, his rider, his piece, his queen, all while I was digging. Turns out, Messiah didn't beat that case on luck. He made a deal, and the body he traded for freedom was somebody I loved like blood. I found out from the streets, not him, from a folded note slipped under my door with 3 words, "Watch your back." Everything after that felt like slow-motion betrayal. Phone calls that didn't ring right, movements that didn't line up, gaps in time that couldn't be explained. He was setting me up to take the fall. For what? I didn't know yet, but I wasn't waiting to find out. Mona helped me wipe my trail. I moved money, burned papers, changed numbers. By the time Messiah figured out I knew, it was too late. I was gone. Not running, repositioning. Because you can't destroy a woman who's already rebuilt herself from ashes. And he was about to learn. I was never the pawn. I was the checkmate. Chapter 7. Enemies Closer. They say keep your friends close and your enemies closer. But nobody warns you when they're the same damn person. Messiah came back talking legacy, talking love, talking like betrayal was stitched into every word leaving his mouth. "I made mistakes," he said, standing in my doorway like his shadow still had authority. "But I never stopped loving you." Love? That word felt hollow now, like a lie dressed in perfume. Still, I let him in, smiled, cooked, listened. Because sometimes the best revenge don't come with a bullet. It comes with patience. He wanted forgiveness. What I gave him was a front row seat to his own unraveling. Every night he slept beside me, I was taking notes. Every whisper on his phone, I recorded. Every deal he thought was secret, I knew about it before he hung up. I wasn't just watching him. I was building my case. Mona helped me move in silence. We flipped the setup back on him, rewired his contacts, fed fake info to his loyal circle. Watched how fast it spread. And that's when it hit me. The enemy was never just Messiah. It was the entire system built around him. The fake love, the street codes, the silent sacrifices women like me are expected to make for the cause. So I stopped playing the role. I stopped being the girl who held it down while breaking in silence. I became the woman who held receipts, not regrets. Because loyalty, it ain't about staying. Sometimes it's about knowing exactly when to leave and who to burn on your way out. Chapter 8. The Price of Power. Power don't come free. It costs you time, trust, people you thought were permanent, and pieces of yourself you'll never get back. I learned that the moment I stepped out of Messiah's shadow and into my own light. By now, I wasn't just playing defense. I was running the whole game. Mona and I flipped the streets upside down. We turned whispers into weapons. All the respect Messiah once demanded, it started coming to me. But power don't come without enemies. The moment I made moves that didn't need his name attached, he got sloppy, jealous, dangerous. "You act like I ain't build you," he barked, cornering me in the hallway of the spot we used to call home. I didn't blink. "You didn't build me. You just kept me caged long enough to forget I had wings." He grabbed my wrist. Mistake number 1. I pulled the Glock tucked under my hoodie and pressed it gently to his chest. Mistake number 2? Thinking I was still the girl he left behind. "You put your hands on me again," I whispered, calm and steady. "You won't leave breathing." He backed off, but the message was clear. He wasn't just mad, he was losing. And men like Messiah, they'd rather destroy you than watch you stand taller than them. I had to move fast. Cut ties with every leftover piece of my old life. Transfer money, erase history, start fresh, but start stronger. Because the crown was heavy. And now that it was mine, I wasn't letting it slip. Not for love, not for loyalty, not for anyone. Chapter 9. Forgive but never forget. He showed up again. Unannounced, uninvited, unbothered. Same eyes, same voice, but the weight behind his words, gone. "I messed up," Messiah said, standing in front of me like the past wasn't bleeding between us. "I lost everything when I lost you." I stayed silent, not because I had nothing to say, but because he wasn't worthy of my voice anymore. "Let me make it right," he pleaded. "I see you now. I see what you became." No, he didn't. He saw what he could have had. He saw power where there used to be pain. He saw the throne, but forgot who rebuilt the kingdom. I looked him in the eye and said what I never thought I'd be strong enough to say. "I forgive you." His chest eased, his posture softened, like the war was over. But then I finished. But don't get it twisted. Forgiveness ain't the same as access. He blinked. I let go for me, not for you. You don't get to walk back in just because you finally feel the loss. That man watched me walk away like he was the one who got left. And maybe he did, because the woman I used to be, she would have stayed. The woman I am now, she never forgets. Chapter 10. Crowned in Chaos. I didn't ask for a crown. I earned it. Scar by scar, move by move, loss by loss. And now, I wear it heavy, but proud. The chaos never stopped. People still talk. Enemies still lurk. Fake love still tries to sneak in dressed like something I used to miss. But I don't flinch anymore. I've learned that in the game of survival, peace is power. And silence, that's the sharpest weapon I own. Mona and I built something solid. Legit businesses, community projects, even safe houses for girls like me who needed a way out. Not everybody saw the vision, but I ain't here to convince anyone. I'm here to change the story. Messiah faded into the background like a bad decision I outgrew. He still tries to pop up from time to time, reminders of what I survived. But I don't respond to ghosts. I bury them. See, I didn't just survive the hood. I didn't just outgrow betrayal. I turned pain into blueprint. And this crown, It ain't just for show. It's a reminder that I came from the fire and made it fashion. That I was loyal, even when it hurt. But now, I'm loyal to me. No more proving my worth. No more shrinking to make others feel strong. No more loving people who weaponize my loyalty. Because now, I run empires. I build legacies. And love, if it comes, it better match my strength or get left behind. Epilogue, built from ashes. They'll tell you I changed, got cold, moved different. They're right. Because the girl who once begged for loyalty, she's gone. What's left is a woman who learned to protect her peace like her life depends on it. Because it does. I loved hard. I stayed loyal when I should have walked. I bled for people who wouldn't have bandaged a scratch for me. But every betrayal, every lie, every silent tear, it all built me. Now I walk with purpose, not pain. I build, I teach, I lead. And when I love, it's by choice, not desperation. Messiah was a chapter, but I'm the whole book. So if you're looking for the girl who used to break at the sound of empty promises, don't bother. She's buried under the empire I built with my own hands. This crown is mine, and it's carved from every lesson I had to learn the hard way. Loyalty ain't always love, but it taught me how to love myself enough to never settle again.
I was loyal to the wrong one, gave my all. Now I'm gone, done, held you down. When the storm came down, my heart moving on, run. You called it love, it felt like chains. Now I walk through fire, but I don't feel pain. No regrets, just lessons in life. Loyal to me now, and it feels so right. Concrete rose bloomed in the gutter. Mama prayed, but the streets raised her tougher. Met Messiah with a spark in his eye. Didn't know then that a king could lie. Fast cars, cold nights, whisper truths. Lipstick stains and that cologne proof. He said ride or die. I rode till I bled, now I ride alone. Crown on my head. I gave you truth, you gave me trials. I gave you love, you gave me files. Secret smoke, setups and scars. But look who's shining now, look who we are. I was loyal to the wrong one, gave my all. Now I'm gone, done, held you down. When the storm came down, my heart moving on, run. You called it love, it felt like chains. Now I walk through fire, but I don't feel pain. No regrets, just lessons in life. Loyal to me now, and it feels so right. I forgave, but I never forget. Play my role while I place my bet. Watch you fold like a counterfeit king. Now I'm bossed up, doing my thing. You thought I was broken, I was reborn. Ashes to empire, battle worn. Now you see power where pain once laid. But I built this crown from every game you played. You said love. I gave loyalty, but loyalty without truth, that's just slavery. So I free myself. I was loyal to the wrong